Greetings, fellow Terrans. Professor McKee here with a tutorial for Terra Invicta. We finance professors have hobbies, and one of mine is playing Terra Invicta. I'm creating a collection of tips I've learned while playing this game in case you want to have a study break. Today's guide is a trick you can use to delay permanently these pesky surveillance ships. It works quite well as long as you're not squeamish about sending units on suicide missions. So, of course, Humanity First would love doing this. The Academy, maybe not so much. So, when the aliens send a destroyer, it runs a surveillance mission. You may have noticed it takes a long time. It's currently February. This mission, which already started, is ending in June. Now, I could destroy the Wandering Galaxy class destroyer here, and that would end the surveillance mission. No abductions are gained, but the aliens gain hate, and they'll retaliate and they'll destroy some of my stuff. But there is a way to prevent the mission without generating hate. So if you're still trying to stay underneath the hate limit, this will work. You see, if the surveillance destroyer enters combat, the mission is interrupted. And if the mission is interrupted, the destroyer loses all progress on abductions. But let's say you enter combat with the aliens and your ship or ships that attacked, quote unquote, the aliens didn't actually destroy any of their ships. They don't treat that as something to generate hate with, because they're just kind of laughing at the cute humans who ineffectually sent some useless ship to buzz them and got destroyed for their trouble. So, if somebody like Hans Castile, perhaps, were to order a single exofighter, and have it buzz one of these surveillance destroyers, or maybe you just build a ship that's like a gunship, because that's the smallest ship and it has no weapons or anything. It's just a death trap, and they destroy it. They have to start all over again. So they waste another 5-6 months running their surveillance mission again. You can easily rebuild another exo fighter. You can rebuild another gunship in 6 months' time. That's really easy. There's a lot of time to do it. And honestly, this seems unintended. It seems kind of cheesy. So I do expect that at some point the devs will make a change so that this trick will no longer buy you 6 months of time. Maybe the progress that they make on the mission is retained or something like that. But as of the 0.4 release, this works. So this is really effective because I pay the boost for an exo fighter, which is nothing. I'm producing enough boost to do this once a month. Or I pay the space resources to send out one suicide gunship. Again, not very expensive. And because surveillance missions take a really long time, and aliens are limited to having only 2 surveillance destroyers at one time, they can only ever have 2, you're at worst losing maybe 4 to 8 ships a year, either exo fighters or gunships. And you will completely prevent them from running surveillance missions. Now, this is only the destroyers. If they build a station, you can't interrupt that by sending suicide missions. You'll have to destroy them the real way. It's even possible to have a suicide ship that attack the aliens survive. I've done it with exo fighters in particular because they have great acceleration. When the fight starts, just accelerate in like a perpendicular direction away from the aliens. Sometimes they'll overshoot, and they'll be far enough away that you can tell your ship's retreat, and it'll run. But even if they destroy it, no big deal. It wasn't that costly in terms of resources. Now, technically, you can run the same trick on an assault carrier, because the assault carrier gets in orbit. It's running a mission. If you start combat with it, it'll have to restart its mission. The problem here is they're not limited to 2 assault carriers. They can build as many as they have resources for. And assault carriers land within a month. So you're spending way more resources. It's much harder to sustainably delay an assault carrier landing. I don't think it's really possible to permanently prevent landing by just sending suicide ships. But if they are going to land somewhere that is inconvenient for you, they're landing, like in Mongolia, and I don't have access to Mongolia, so I can't get armies here to attack them as they get off the ship. I can send a suicide exofighter. They re-roll. Maybe they decide to land somewhere that's much more convenient for me. At least that's the hope. So that's actually another thing you can do, which is just get a re-roll on where they land. So the next time you are worried about those alien spaceships abducting innocent Terrans, take a leaf out of Hans Steele book and send out a suicide ship to distract them. If you found this video helpful for your study break, please comment, like, and or subscribe so that others can find this video too. Happy not studying or buzzing surveillance destroyers.